Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division 2 video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you game 2 of a best of 3 between Vitch and Frubblord in the final of the first Steel Division 2 Championship. Today they are playing on Orsha North, and on the Soviet side, Vitch is using Gruppa Tyurin with the Vanguard deployment type, and on the Axis side, Frubblord is using the 14th Infantry with the Vanguard deployment type. So Frubblord is one game up. He won the previous game decisively, probably has a lot of confidence going into this one, and if he can take the second game, well then he wins the tournament, which is massive. So he's going to probably be going all in for sure, but Vitch is going to be doing the same to try and stop him. Wants to bring back the game 2 so that he can push on to a third game and potentially win the tournament himself. So all to play for here, it's going to be a hell of a game. The Gruppa Tyurin on the side of Vitch. Really glad to see the division used, especially with the Vanguard deployment type. We saw Tyurin previously used with the balanced deployment type, and I don't feel like balance really suits Tyurin at all, because Tyurin very much relies on their fast and furious playstyle in the early game, using a lot of medium armor to find ground early on. But let's have a look at some of the troops going down for Vitch. So he's got some Starky DP on this bottom side, couple Ognemechiki, Starky Komroti to back those up, couple Tanko Dasaniki. For the hill on the bottom side, going to be a ZIS-2 and the 76mm infantry gun with the flamers and the PTRS. It's going to be a 2-star PTRS, so looking for extra accuracy there for those AT rifles. Further up, we do see 2 PTRS squads with the 2 flamers, actually make that 3 flamers, and on the very top side, 2 Tanko Dasaniki, Starky DP, and Ognemechiki. I'm surprised not to see more tanks. There is actually 2 added to the bottom side, but still that is a very low amount for a start from a Vanguard Tyurin. I guess he'll probably want to get the infantry down early on and then maybe bring in the tanks afterwards, because at the end of the day, he can bring in 3 a minute with the Vanguard deployment type. On the side of Frubblord, the 14th Infantry is a very strong division. It does have access to the Ersatztruppen, which are the disheartened units here, as well as some decent units in the form of the Begleit Pioneers. I'm not sure if we see any coming down from the start. We do. 2-star veterancy there. Begleit Pioneers, the 2 Stosstroop with MP44s, very nice close-range infantry squads as well. They excel at the 300 meters, and they also have the Molotov cocktails. 2 Grenadiers DP there with the machine guns, the Russian weapons. There's 2 Flammenwerfers, got a 45mm Russian captured AT gun and a ZIS-3 there as well. Another Russian gun. Grenführer, also a Commandant at the start again from Frubblord, and this seems to be something that Frubblord loves to do. Just get those Commandant down, get the extra veterancy on his units to increase their efficiency. For the centre of the map, it's going to be 4 units of Flammenwerfer with the MG42. Then we see an MG42 and a ZIS-3 going to be taking the high ground with 2 Flammenwerfer. And on the very top side, we have 4 Ersatztruppen with the Stosstroop with the MP44, Grenadiers with the DP, and another captured 45mm AT gun. So no heavy tanks from Frubblord at the start, and that could prove vital for the initial engagement, especially with the T-34s being on this bottom side. But IL-2, KR coming in from the start, this is a well-known strategy from Tyurin. They do have these recon IL-2s with the 20mm guns, and they're great for taking out transports. It's going to kill the motorcycle, but doesn't kill the squad. Both of the Flammenwerfer unloading there, and the MG getting out soon. But that may allow the Ognemechiki on this bottom side to grab some early ground and some early flags, and we already see it going 15-9. Before the troops have deployed. Anyway, that's going to be the orders on the side of Vitch, and this is the orders on the side of Frubblord. Mostly just unload at position commands again, nothing too crazy. Although seeing the Taman out at the start is quite interesting. These are, I think, 50 points. Yeah, 50-point cluster planes. And I guess this was brought in to deal with any potential Tigers, but we haven't seen any brought onto the field just yet. This FK-288 going to be engaging the Starky Komroti there. We did see, I think, a couple of squads go down on this top side. Yeah, it looks like 2 Flammenwerfer got killed by the PTRS-41. Oh, that IL-2, it did so much damage to that ZIS-3 in cover. Wow, that's quite impressive. Those at 2-star veterancy, plenty of accuracy to use to take out support weapons like that. So really nice job. We do see the double Oknemachiki and double Tanko Dasaniki on the bottom side. And Vitch really loves to use these close-range infantry combos in order to find ground in the heavy cover. Frubblord's using 2 Ersatz and 2 Flammenwerfer, so he will be outgunned a little bit due to the Molotovs from the Tankos. The T-34 76s, can they take care of the Ziz-3? They will. That goes down nice and easy. The Taman's still flying around. Frubblord going to be bringing a Flakveling to deal with that. Wants to stop this IL-2 from strafing his support weapons, as well as stopping the Taman from getting a kill onto any heavy armor he brings in. That Flakveling will make short work of that poor biplane. Down it goes into the forest. Well, this 45 engaged at close range onto the T-34s, but the T-34s with their 2 machine guns and HE managed to kill that 45 very quickly. Here goes the infantry engagement on the bottom side. The 2 Flammenwerfer are already dead to the Molotovs of the Tankos, and now the Ersatztruppen will surely follow. Infantry gun moving up very far in the center of the map right now. Looks like Vitch is just trying to use that to gain some ground. The MG42 going to be engaging it from the hill, will expose itself to 2 infantry guns, and while the IL-2 is still strafing, even though it's run out of 20mm ammo. Flakveling is going to probably force that back either way. Strelky DP continuing to engage onto the Grenadier DP. I would say Strelky DP are better, just because they have the SVTs, whilst the Grenadiers use Kar 98s with their DPs. But the triple Strelky DP, now they're pushing onto the MG42 and the Flammenwerfers that have only just got to the front line after being unloaded early on. So far, Vitch has a fantastic lead. And I was a little bit worried about his use of infantry early on, but it seems to have paid dividends, and now he's backing that up with 4 T-34 1943s on the bottom side and 2 for the middle of the map. So here comes the medium armor I was talking about. And I feel like Tyurin really kind of counters the current meta, because it's all about this close-range infantry engagement, the use of disheartened infantry with Flammenwerfers and so on. None of this infantry has any form of AT, and so medium tanks can be super effective at taking on this kind of infantry. So having an abundance of medium tanks can really get the better of your opponent. But a Tiger is on the field. This Tiger has a lot of work to do though, and needs to be careful that it doesn't get flanked or overwhelmed by a severe number of T-34s, especially with 6 on their way. These T-34 1943s could quite simply have a fast move order towards this Tiger, and there's nothing to stop them other than the Tiger itself, whilst the T-34 1942s flank it on the top side or something, and then a side shot from a T-34 into a Tiger will get the job done. And that's all he needs really to overwhelm that, just the right crit, the right hit, and the Tiger goes down, and loads of ground will be relinquished to Vitch after that. I see the Strelky DP there taking out another unit of Flammenwerfer, and that's going to probably give this flag over to Vitch. He's already 17-7. That's going to push 18-6. That's pretty crazy. We're going to see the shooter knockout from the T-34 76 onto the Tiger. It's going to force that Tiger back. The close-range engagements can be risky from the Tigers. There's going to be, I think, about a 10-20% penetration chance for the T-34 at this range, I think. T-34 bounces, Tiger finds the kill. That's what you'd expect to see. So, Frubblord using his calculated risk there to find the kill. Now going to be trying to engage the next T-34, and he's got to keep trying to one-pop these where he can. IL-2 coming in again, this time on the top side to get rid of the Ziz-3. Tanko Dasaniki going to be forced onto that in their half-track. And we see the 2 Tanko Dasaniki on the top side currently engaging the Stostrup with MP44s. At the 100-meter range, Tanko Dasaniki do defeat Stostrup quite convincingly because of both the numbers and also the fact that the Tankos use submachine guns, whilst the Stostrup use MP44s in this case. 2 Stuarts actually arriving on the top side. The 3 Strelky trying to push across the open. Currently getting forced to unload by the Ersatztruppen. We do see the Tiger, well, we didn't see it, but it did take out the other T-34. We heard it fire. So I moved down to this bottom side. Now the 2 T-34 1943 is going to engage, do find a crit, the transmission damage, but with the FK-288 and the Tiger firing at the same time, these T-34s could be in trouble. That's going to be transmission destroyed. That T-34 is stuck in place. Tiger takes out one of them. Can it take out the other? PE-3 has been brought in to provide the AP rockets, and the last shot from the T-34 76 does force back the Tiger for now, so this would be the chance for the T-34 to charge it down and finish it off. But of course the AT gun is in position, and Vitch will not want to reveal his T-34 to this AT gun. The two T-34s moving on the bottom side. This is probably the only location where there's an infantry squad with a Panzerfaust, but we did see the T-34 eventually finish off that Tiger. Found the kill. Second Tiger on this bottom side is going to try and return the favor. Yep, does manage to kill that off with a well-placed shot. But look at this. The two Strelky DP that didn't get unloaded pushed all the way through, surrendered a unit, and then took the flag. Very nicely done indeed. The Strelky DP are actually pretty nasty mid-range squads. But one thing on this bottom side, Vitch is going to have to be careful that he doesn't let his infantry just get wiped out. He's only got the Strelky Komlotti left actually, so maybe already too late. The Begleit Pioneers on this bottom side could certainly clear that up, but look at the score. 20-4. Major defeat in 4 minutes for Frubblord. This is quite the turnaround from the last game, and that is a huge kill. The Zis-2 takes out the Tiger. Very, very nicely done. This is probably the main threat that Tyurin has against the Tigers throughout the game, and he's already killed 2 of them. That's probably the only 2 Tigers that Frubblord has in Phase A, and they're both dead. So that allows all of the medium and light armor to run riot over Frublord's forces. And Frubblord, he's probably only utilizing 1 card of the 45s and 1 card of the Zis-3s. So now he's pretty much reliant on the light armor here, the Panzer II Lux, which is managing to kill a Strelky DP, but I believe the Strelky DP already got a kill here. Yeah, he's gone for the surrender there just to finish off that squad. That one man left kneeling by the burning building. But yeah, this is incredible. This is exactly what I love to see from Tyurin. It can be such an aggressive division, very, very fast. Can back itself up very nicely with an abundance of armor. More light tanks arriving on the top side. 2 more Stuarts on their way. 2 Sturmovniki Rocks coming in on the bottom side, and these are scary units as well. 2-star veterancy, going to be able to match potentially the Begleit Pioneers at close range, which isn't something that many squads can do, but Sturmovniki Rocks can probably get the job done. Further up, we see the Panzer II Lux taking out a unit of infantry in the open. These Panzer II Lux are really nice for destroying infantry squads, but they're not quite as cost efficient as the recon vehicles. They cost 35 points, which is a little bit more. It's only 10 points less actually than a T-34 76 1943, which can easily trade with the Lux at that sort of range. And we see that go down. The Strelky DP now trying to engage the Ersatztruppen and completely outmatch them, honestly. These Begleit Pioneers just not finding the kills that they need to be efficient. The 2 Begleit Pioneer, or the Begleit Pioneer on the bottom side, moving in. Frubblord only has 3 squads of these, so it's very important that he has them in the right position. And he's got 1 on the bottom side, he's got 1 pushing towards this town to clean up the Strelky DP there, but he is on a time limit for sure. 1 minute and 45 seconds until Vitch takes the victory. I feel like Vitch has already done enough damage to win the game. We've just moved into Phase B. Frubblord saved for 2 Tigers in Phase B, as well as an abundance of Lux to back them up and Grenadiers. It looks like he just tried to save for like a wave of units to make a concerted effort back against his opponent. But even bringing it back from the 3-tick to the 2-tick, it's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds now until Frubblord loses out. The Sturmovniki, you can see, have managed to wreck the Begleit Pioneers. These Sturmovniki Rocks, they have 2 flamethrowers and 6 submachine guns. They are the ultimate 100-meter range engagement tools, and in this case certainly showing that against the Begleits, killing them off nice and easy. Ersatztruppen do not stand a chance at close range. We're seeing a double support guns being brought into the center. There is already the 2 that were already placed down, and well, so far Vitch has just used these to control the open versus all of this infantry. He's also going to potentially be able to take out this Zis-3 that's moved forwards. The Zis-3 is trying to trade, but there's just too many infantry guns there That ZIS-3 will most likely go down. Saying that, one of the 76 mils did die, but it's still 17-7. Frubblord still has work to do. The looks are arriving. One big problem that Frubblord does have, though, is you can see this Panzer II is getting critted, and that's because the PTRDs that the Strelki have are good enough to penetrate the looks, even in the front armor. Oh, we see a P3 coming in. Will it get any rockets on target? It didn't actually fire the rockets in the end. Came in at an odd angle. I think he maybe tried to change the target onto these looks so that his Strelki didn't get pinned down, but changed his mind. So ended up not landing the strike. But yeah, this T-34, that's still doing work here. This T-34 is being forced back. The AT gun finding the smallest of angles. It's shooting through the gap in those buildings. Can it find the kill? It can. We do see the flak-filling actually killing the T-34 on the bottom side. This PE-3 was used to kill off one of the looks, doesn't find the second one, but that is a huge kill as the Tiger goes down. Again, another Tiger, and Vitch has just constantly found these Tiger kills, and well, it's left Frubblord on the back foot the entire game. 10 seconds to go. Frubblord gets beaten down, by Gruppa Tyurin, and it makes me smile because I've always felt like Tyurin can be such a good competitive division, and I think Vitch in this game showed perfectly how you can use that division to be so scary in the first 10 minutes of the game. Like, having the abundance of T-34, 1943, 76s is just so good. Like, the 45 points that they cost, you get so much value. They're so efficient. And yeah, just great stuff. Frubblord with those Tigers couldn't really just hold the ground. And by the time the Tigers, even the first Tiger had come in, Vitch had made all of the ground that he needed. The close range infantry just demolished Frubblord on the bottom side, the Tango Desalniki and the Flamers. That allowed the two T-34 1942s to just push on through without really much threat from AT guns. There was like one of the ZIS-3s there, and the ZIS-3s that the 14th Infantry have, they don't actually have an APCR, so they're at quite reliable penetration, because they generally engage at like max range, right? So you're always getting like the best penetration off them if you forget, for example, to turn off the APCR. And so quite reliable units. And well, unfortunately in this case, Frubblord got overwhelmed by the IL-2 at the start. Like, that's a common thing to see from Tyurin. So I was surprised actually not to see any AA from Frubblord. I didn't actually mention that at the start, but yeah, AA is something you definitely need against Gruppa Tyurin, because not only do you need to prevent Gruppa Tyurin from breaking down your Tigers, but you need to stop the IL-2 from strafing your infantry. It's like those two key units, so IL-2 for strafing and the P3 for breaking down Tigers. Even if it doesn't kill them, it just pins them, allowing the T-34s to overwhelm them. So that's important to have AA for, but also like just making sure your Tigers like are covered with that AA initially anyway is super important. It wouldn't have even been out of place against Gruppa Tyurin to bring in two Tigers from the start, for example. Like, that's probably a decent setup. Two Tigers plus an AA, and then an abundance of cheap infantry. Yes, you would have lost the infantry engagement, but a lot of the flags on Orsha North are in the center of that map. And if you can control the center, you can always recover the sides later on, especially with a division like the 14th that does have access to the Bagai Pioneers. So yeah, I'm not sure if Frubblord really could have made much of a change based on his initial deployment. I think Vitch just played that very well with a very aggressive division, and does take game 2 of this best of 3. It pushes us to a third game, which is awesome for the final of the first Steel Division 2 Championship. So very glad to see this fast and furious game. Vitch bites back. We'll have to see if he can follow this through in the last game, or if Frubblord can once again gain his footing and win the tournament himself. But we will see. That's it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.